You're waiting for help. You're waiting for the right time. You're waiting for someone to rescue you. But here's the truth. Nobody is coming. No one's coming to pick you up. No one's coming to fight your battles. No one's coming to carry your weight. If you don't rise up, you'll stay stuck forever. Life doesn't hand out miracles. It doesn't care about your excuses, your pain, or your story. You can cry about it. You can complain about it. You can beg for a savior. But nobody is walking through that door to fix your life. The only person who can save you is you. And until you accept that truth, you'll stay in chains. But the moment you take ownership, the moment you stop waiting, you become unstoppable. You know what destroys more dreams than failure? Waiting. That's right. Waiting. Every single day, people sit around waiting for the perfect time, the perfect opportunity, the perfect person to come along and change everything. They're waiting for motivation to strike, waiting for someone to hand them a break, waiting for somebody to notice their pain and lift them out of it. And guess what? While they're waiting, their life is slipping away. Let me make this real clear. Life is not on pause. It doesn't stop just because you're not ready. The clock keeps ticking. Every second that passes while you sit there waiting for the right time is a second you'll never get back. And you think time cares about your excuses. You think life is sitting around saying, "Don't worry, I'll slow down until you feel ready." No, time is ruthless. It's moving forward whether you move with it or not. And here's the brutal truth. Waiting is nothing more than disguised fear. You're not waiting because you don't have a chance. You're waiting because you're scared. Scared to fail. Scared to look stupid. Scared to be uncomfortable. Scared to put yourself on the line. So instead of facing the fire, you hide behind the lie of, "I'll start tomorrow," or "I'll do it when I feel ready." But let me tell you, tomorrow doesn't exist. Tomorrow is the excuse your weak mind sells you so you can stay exactly where you are. Think about this. How many people do you know who had dreams when they were younger? Big goals, big visions. They talked about what they were going to do, who they were going to become, how their life was going to change. And now they're stuck. They're miserable. They're bitter. Why? Because they waited too long. They kept saying, "one day." They wasted years waiting for something or someone to come save them. And when nothing showed up, it was too late. They wasted their shot. Every second you spend waiting is a second you could be grinding. You could be training. You could be building. You could be sharpening your mind and your body. But instead, you're sitting there scrolling, wishing, hoping, praying for a shortcut. There are no shortcuts. There is only action. And the difference between the ones who make it and the ones who don't is simple. The ones who win don't wait. They move. Even when they're scared, even when they're tired, even when they don't feel ready, they move anyway. Your mind is going to whisper to you every day, "Hold on. Relax. It's not the right time yet." That's the trap. That's the lie. If you buy into it, you'll waste your entire life waiting for a signal that will never come. The right time is not coming. The right conditions are not coming. Nobody's going to knock on your door and say, "Hey, today is the day your dreams start." That doesn't happen. You've got to decide that today is the day. You've got to declare war on waiting, because waiting is a slow death. You've been given one life, one shot. And every time you choose to wait, you're throwing that shot away piece by piece. That dream in your head, it's suffocating every time you hesitate. That fire in your gut, it's dying every time you push it off until tomorrow. You're killing your own potential with inaction. And don't think you'll magically rise when things get easier. You won't. If you don't fight for it now, you won't fight for it later. If you can't move when it's hard, you damn sure won't move when it's harder. And trust me, it's always going to be harder later. That's why you've got to move now. Waiting is wasting. Wasting your time. Wasting your life. Wasting your chance. Stop telling yourself lies. Stop telling yourself you're waiting for motivation. Stop telling yourself you're waiting for help. Stop telling yourself you're waiting for the perfect moment. That moment is not coming. You've got to stop waiting and start moving, because the longer you wait, the more of yourself you lose. Pain. That word alone scares most people. They run from it. They hide from it. They pray it doesn't knock on their door. But let me tell you something. Pain is not optional in this life. Pain is guaranteed. Every single one of us is going to feel it. Physical pain, mental pain, emotional pain. Life doesn't care who you are or what you've been through. It's going to test you. It's going to break you down. It's going to push you into places you don't want to go. And here's the truth. Nobody wants to hear what you do with that pain. How you respond to it, that is your responsibility. Most people treat pain like an enemy. The second they feel discomfort, they quit. The moment it burns, they stop. The instant it gets hard, they throw their hands up and say, why me? But the ones who rise, the ones who dominate, they understand that pain is the path. They don't run from it. They face it. They own it. Because pain isn't there to destroy you. It's there to shape you. And if you don't take responsibility for it, pain will own you. Think about it. Every excuse you've ever made comes back to pain. I can't do this. It's too hard. Pain. I don't have the energy. Pain. I'll try later. Pain. You've built a life around avoiding pain. And that's exactly why you're stuck. That's exactly why you're not where you want to be. Because every time pain showed up, you stepped back instead of stepping forward. Every time it hurts, you take the easy way out. But here's the reality. There is no easy way out. You can avoid pain today, but it's coming back tomorrow bigger, stronger, uglier. You dodge it now, it chases you down later. You can't escape it. So why not take responsibility for it? Why not use it? Why not flip the script and make pain your fuel? Pain is the teacher life sends when you're too stubborn to learn any other way. You think strength comes from comfort. You think resilience comes from things being easy. No. Strength is built in the fire. Resilience is forged in the suffering. And pain is the fire that burns away weakness. Pain is the forge that shapes your character. Every scar you carry, every bruise, every heartbreak, every failure, it's all proof that you walked in the fire and survived. But survival is not enough. Survival means you just made it through. Responsibility means you take that pain and you turn it into power. It means you stop blaming people. You stop pointing fingers. You stop waiting for someone to carry the load for you. Your pain is yours. Own it. Carry it. Train with it. Let it break you down and then use it to build yourself back up stronger. Most people will never understand this because they're addicted to comfort. They spend their entire lives chasing relief. Relief from stress. Relief from hard work. Relief from suffering. They live small because they refuse to feel pain. But the ones who rise, they lean into it. They say, bring it on. They say, if this hurts, then this is where I belong. And in that mindset, pain stops being the enemy. It becomes a weapon. It becomes the proof. It becomes the thing that separates the weak from the unstoppable. Listen, nobody's going to carry your pain for you. Nobody's coming to take the burden off your shoulders. Nobody's going to save you from the suffering that life is going to hand you. That's yours. That's the price of living. That's the ticket to growth. And the sooner you accept it, the sooner you'll find out who you really are. Pain is not punishment. It's an invitation. It's life asking you, how bad do you want it? How far are you willing to go? What are you willing to endure? And if you take responsibility, if you answer that call, then pain becomes the pathway to everything you've ever wanted. You want strength? Go through pain. You want freedom? Go through pain. You want discipline, greatness, and self-respect? Go through pain. It's the only currency accepted in this game. You can't negotiate with pain. You can't cheat it. You can't skip it. You either face it head on and grow, or you run from it and stay weak. And the choice is yours. Responsibility means you stop acting like a victim. It means you stop crying about what life did to you and start using what life gave you. It means you stop wishing for easy and start fighting through hard. Every great story you've ever heard, every hero you've ever admired, they all share one thing. They carried their pain. They didn't run from it. They didn't hand it off. They didn't quit because it hurt. They embraced it. They turned it into something powerful. And that's what you've got to do. Because pain will either be the reason you stop or the reason you rise. And that decision is yours. The loudest enemy you'll ever face isn't out there. It's in here. It's in your own damn head. People think their enemies are the doubters, the haters, the critics on the outside. But let me tell you something. The outside world doesn't have to say a word if the voice inside you is already tearing you apart. That inner voice, that constant whisper saying, you're not enough, you can't do it, it's too hard, you'll fail. That's the real battle. That's the enemy within. And here's the truth. Most people can't handle your mind as a battlefield. Every single day, there's a war going on between the version of you that wants to rise and the version of you that wants to stay weak. Between the disciplined version of you and the lazy version of you. Between the warrior and the coward. And the enemy within knows you better than anyone else ever could because it's you. It knows your weaknesses, your fears, your excuses, your soft spots. It knows exactly where to hit, and it never stops hitting. That's why so many people lose before they even start. Because the enemy within convinces them not to try. You don't even have to face the world, because your own mind already said, don't bother. You're sabotaging yourself before you've even taken a step. And you sit there wondering why life feels so heavy, why success feels out of reach. It's because you're letting the weakest part of you call the shots. Look at your life. Look at all the times you quit, all the times you backed down, all the times you let opportunities pass. It wasn't because someone else stopped you. It wasn't because the world was too harsh. It was because your own mind convinced you to stop. Your own mind whispered, "You can't handle this." And you believed it. That's the enemy within, and it's ruthless. But here's what separates the few from the many. The few recognize that voice for what it is. They don't treat it like the truth. They treat it like the enemy. When that voice says, "You can't do it," they hear it as a challenge. When it says, "It's too hard," they say, "Good, that means I'm on the right path." When it says, "Quit," they push hard because they know the voice isn't there to guide them. It's there to test them. The enemy within is never going away. Don't fool yourself into thinking one day you'll wake up and it'll be gone. No, that voice will always be there, but your job isn't to silence it. It's to outwork it, outfight it, outlast it. Every day you've got to step onto the battlefield of your own mind and refuse to surrender. That's the grind. That's the discipline. That's the war. Most people think discipline is about waking up early, working out, sticking to a routine. And yeah, that's part of it. But the core of discipline is this. It's refusing to let the enemy within control your life. It's hearing that voice say, "Stay in bed," and you get up anyway. It's hearing, "Don't try, you'll fail," and you try anyway. It's hearing, "Take it easy," and you push harder anyway. Every time you act against that voice, you're winning the war. You're building a stronger mind. And here's the brutal truth. You will lose battles. You will have days where the enemy within wins. You'll stay in bed. You'll skip the workout. You'll eat the junk food. You'll quit halfway. And in those moments, you'll feel like a failure. But failure isn't losing a battle. It's surrendering the war. As long as you get back up, as long as you step back in the fight, you're still in control. The enemy within thrives on weakness. It feeds on your comfort. Every time you make life easy, every time you choose soft, that inner enemy grows stronger. But every time you choose hard, every time you choose discomfort, every time you embrace suffering, that enemy shrinks. And little by little, you become the one in charge. You see, the real enemy is not the obstacles, not the critics, not the world. It's you versus you. That's the raw truth. If you can't beat the voice in your head, you'll never beat the challenges outside. If you can't conquer the enemy within, the world out there will eat you alive. So stop looking for villains outside. Stop blaming circumstances. Stop waiting for people to go easy on you. The harshest opponent you'll ever face lives in your own mind. And until you recognize that, until you rise up and fight back, you'll stay chained. You'll stay small. You'll stay stuck in the same cycle. But if you choose to face it head on, if you choose to make war with that enemy inside, then nothing outside can touch you. Nothing can stop you. Nothing can break you. At the end of the day, when the world strips everything away, you've only got one weapon left. You. Not your family. Not your boss. Not the system. Not some miracle waiting to drop out of the sky. You. Your will. Your grit. Your refusal to fold. That's it. That's all you've ever had, and that's all you'll ever need. But the problem is, most people don't want to hear that because it puts all the weight back on them. And most people can't handle that weight. They'd rather believe someone's coming to rescue them. But nobody's coming. Nobody. Self-reliance isn't some motivational slogan. It's survival. It's looking at your life, your pain, your goals, and saying, if I don't build it, it won't exist. If I don't fight for it, it won't happen. If I don't show up, it dies right here. That's the mindset. And it's brutal because it removes the safety net. It removes the excuses. But that's the point. That's where power lies. Because once you stop waiting for outside help, you realize just how strong you can become. You think greatness is handed out. You think discipline is gifted. You think success is inherited. No. Everything you admire in others comes from one thing, self-reliance. They had nothing. Nobody believed in them. No one gave them the easy path. And instead of crying about it, instead of wishing for a lifeline, they became their own weapon. They sharpened their mind. They hardened their body. They built habits so strong that nothing could break them. And that's why they stand where others fell. When you rely on others, you hand over your power. You become weak because you're waiting for someone else to make the call, someone else to lift the weight, someone else to push you forward. And when they don't show up, you crumble. That's the reality of dependence. It's fragile. It's weak. It's slavery with a smile. But when you decide, I'm my own backup plan. I'm my own savior. I'm my own motivator. You become unstoppable. Nobody can take that away from you. Look at history. Every great fighter, every great leader, every person who built something out of nothing, they all had the same truth. Self-reliance was their weapon. They didn't wait for validation. They didn't need permission. They didn't need applause. They moved without it. They fought without it. They were created without it. And in the silence, in the struggle, they became so damn strong that when the world finally noticed, it was too late. The foundation was already unshakable. And here's where most people break. They want to be carried. They want the coach to push them. They want the partner to motivate them. They want the crowd to cheer them on. But what happens when none of that's there? What happens when the gym is empty, the room is silent, and nobody cares whether you show up or not? That's where self-reliance is tested. That's where discipline becomes real. Because if you can move in silence, if you can fight when no one's watching, if you can rise without being told, you don't need anybody else. You've got the only weapon you'll ever need. This doesn't mean you walk alone forever. It doesn't mean you don't accept help. But it means you never depend on it. You never need it to function. You never lean on it so hard that if it disappears, you collapse. You stand on your own. You rise on your own. And you fight on your own. That's the mindset that turns you into steel. Think about the times you've waited. Waiting for someone to support you. Waited for the right time. Waited for motivation. How many chances did you waste? How many dreams died while you were waiting for a helping hand that never came? That's what happens when you depend. But the moment you cut that cord, the moment you say, I'm responsible for everything that happens from here on out, the game changes. You stop waiting and start creating. You stop hoping and start grinding. You stop begging and start building. Nobody respects the person who needs saving every time it gets tough. But everybody respects the one who gets up again and again, without asking for sympathy, without asking for shortcuts. That's the person who builds empires. That's the person who becomes unbreakable. That's the person who sets the standard. And that can be you. But only if you stop outsourcing your fight. Only if you take full ownership. Only if you make self-reliance your weapon. Because when life takes the support away, and it will, when people leave you, when plans fall apart, when everything you counted on disappears, the only thing left will be the voice in your head and the strength in your body. And in that moment, the truth will come out. Did you build yourself into a weapon? Or did you waste your life waiting to be saved? Listen to me. This life isn't waiting for you. Nobody is coming to drag you out of bed. Nobody is showing up to fix your problems. Nobody's going to carry your pain, silence your inner enemy, or build your discipline for you. That's your job. That's your war. The truth is brutal, but it's freeing, because the second you accept that nobody is coming to save you, you take back all your power. You stop waiting. You stop depending. You rise. You fight. You build. You become the kind of person who doesn't need saving. So stop looking out the window for help. Look in the mirror. That's your savior. That's your weapon. That's your only chance at greatness. Because at the end of the day, there's no rescue mission. There's no easy road. There's just you versus you. And when you finally own that, when you finally step up and take responsibility, you'll realize something powerful. Nobody is coming to save you because you were built to save yourself.